Hi everyone, it's great to see you here. Today we're going to delve into a topic that we all face, but we don't always know how to deal with. Pain and suffering. It's inevitable, right? But the big question is, what do you do when you're suffering? Do you reveal your pain? Try to hide it? Or do something even more powerful? Transform it into a strength that no one can shake? Before we start, I'm going to invite you. If this subject is important to you, subscribe to the channel and activate the bell, because here we always bring content that can help you be stronger and more resilient in your daily life. Well, the truth is that showing our pain is not always the best option. Sometimes, by revealing what we're feeling, we can end up attracting more problems than solutions. Have you ever noticed that some people seem to feed off the suffering of others? It's strange, but there are those who feel satisfaction in seeing others go through difficult times. This mix of envy and cruelty can block our personal growth. And this can happen anywhere, at work, among friends, even in the family. But you know what? Within you there is an incredible strength, a true source of power, waiting to be discovered. And this strength gives you the ability to transform your pain, your vulnerabilities, into unshakable energy. And to do this, we will explore together some principles of Stoic philosophy, more specifically of Epictetus, one of the greatest thinkers in history. He left us profound teachings that, even after thousands of years, are still extremely valuable for modern life. So, without further ado, let's get straight to the point. In today's video, we will learn 18 powerful principles from Epictetus that will help you transform your weaknesses into unbreakable strengths. These principles are like a compass that guides us through difficulties, helping us to grow and find balance in a world full of challenges. Principle 1. Listen twice as much as you speak. Have you ever stopped to think about why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth? It seems simple, but there is a great lesson in it. Epictetus said that this ratio is a constant reminder that we should listen more than we talk. Truly listening to the people around us is an exercise in humility and wisdom. Often, we are so focused on talking, on imposing our opinions, that we forget to listen to what others have to say. Listening is not just a skill. It is a superpower that connects us more deeply with the people around us. When you truly listen, not just to the words, but to the emotions and what is behind them, you begin to understand people and the world better. And that is where the magic happens. Instead of contributing to the noise, you begin to be a source of understanding. Listening more than you talk also puts you in a position of constant learning. Those who are always talking are often closing the door to new ideas and perspectives. Therefore, the ability to listen and reflect makes you wiser and helps you make better decisions, both in your personal and professional life. When you listen, you welcome others and create space for a more constructive and empathetic dialogue. Principle 2. Don't let other people's words control your life. Now, tell me, how many times have you felt bad because of a negative comment? Sometimes, a simple sentence said by someone can ruin our day, our week, and even change the way we see ourselves. Epictetus warns us not to give this power to others. Why let other people's opinions dictate our mood or even our actions? Inner peace is yours and no one else's. No matter what anyone says, your happiness and balance are not for sale. Throughout our lives, we will hear criticism, mean comments, and opinions that can shake us. But remember, you are the only one responsible for your emotions. Don't hand this key over to anyone. Words can hurt, but the power to decide how to react is entirely yours. This lesson is very important today, when we are constantly bombarded by other people's opinions, whether on social media or in the workplace. It's easy to fall into the trap of living for the approval of others. But when you let go of that need, you discover an inner strength that no one can take away from you. What's more, by emotionally distancing yourself from the words of others, you also begin to build unshakable self-confidence. Principle 3. Be prepared for the worst. Life is full of uncertainty, and it's normal to feel afraid of what might happen. Sometimes, just thinking about the bad things that could happen to us can make us feel bad. But Epictetus invites us to accept the worst. This may sound scary, but the idea here is not to be pessimistic, but realistic. When you prepare yourself to face difficult times, fears lose their power. Accepting that the worst can happen frees you from paralyzing fear. and you begin to see things differently. Adversity as challenges to be overcome, not as insurmountable barriers. And this brings immense peace. You become more resilient, more prepared to deal with whatever life throws your way. Facing your fears head-on strengthens you. And over time, you realize that those fears that seemed so big are not actually invincible. This approach helps us build a Stoic mindset, in which we accept difficulties as part of life, instead of resisting them. Being prepared for the worst also allows us to live in a lighter and more peaceful way, without the constant weight of trying to control everything around us. Principle 4. Don't be afraid to fail. Who has never been afraid of making mistakes, right? But the truth is that failure is part of the journey to success. Epictetus believed that mistakes are the greatest teachers we can have. Many times, we are so afraid of failing that we don't even try, and thus, we miss incredible opportunities. However, it is precisely through failure that we learn and grow. Imagine if the greatest minds in history had given up at the first obstacle. Thomas Edison, for example, tried thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. Each mistake was a step toward success. And this is how we should view our failures, not as defeats, but as valuable lessons that take us further and further. Failure also teaches us the importance of persistence and patience. It is often easy to get discouraged when something does not go as planned, but the Stoics remind us that true success lies in continuing to try, and not giving up in the face of difficulties. Each setback is an opportunity to become stronger and wiser. Principle 5. Simplify your life in a world full of distractions, where it seems that we always need to have more money, more possessions, more recognition. Epictetus reminds us that true wealth lies in simplicity. Happiness is not found in material things, but in what brings meaning to your life. Sometimes we are so busy trying to achieve the next big thing that we forget to appreciate the little things we already have. By simplifying your life, you begin to realize that you don't need so much to be happy. By freeing yourself from the constant need to accumulate more, you create space for what really matters. Your relationships, your passions, and most importantly, your peace of mind. Living simply also allows us to focus on what really matters. By eliminating excess, whether material or emotional, we can see more clearly what truly brings happiness and meaning to our lives. Simplicity, in the Stoic view, is a way to free ourselves from the stress and anxiety that accumulation and the relentless pursuit of more can cause. Principle 6. Practice humility. Humility is one of the greatest virtues we can cultivate. Epictetus said that the more we learn, the more we realize how much we still have to learn. It's easy to get carried away by pride and think we already know it all. But true wisdom comes from the humble admission that there is always more to discover. When we open ourselves to constant learning, we become more receptive to the world and the lessons it has to offer us. Humility makes us more empathetic, more open to others, and helps us build deeper and truer relationships. It also frees us from the need to always be right and teaches us to accept our failures as a natural part of our growth. Humility is essential for self-knowledge, as it allows us to recognize our limitations and work to overcome them. Furthermore, when we are humble, we are more open to learning from others, regardless of their social status, age, or experience. This openness to continuous learning makes us grow as individuals. Principle 7. Beware the dangers of wealth. Many people think that when we achieve wealth, all our problems disappear. But Epictetus warns us about the dangers of wealth. It can blind us to what really matters and often keep us from true happiness. When we base our happiness on money or status, we become hostages to something that is beyond our control. When you become too attached to material possessions or financial success, you run the risk of becoming a slave to those things. And what happens when the things you value are taken away from you? If your happiness is based on wealth, your life becomes unstable, because wealth is fickle and beyond your control. True happiness comes from within, not from material possessions or status. Epictetus believed that wealth can corrupt the spirit if we do not know how to deal with it. Many people, when they acquire great wealth, end up living in constant worry about how to maintain it or how to acquire even more. This creates a cycle of dissatisfaction and anxiety. The real challenge for Epictetus is to live in peace, no matter how much we have. Wealth is good, of course, but only if we know how to use it wisely and in moderation. When you are aware of the dangers of wealth, you can let go of the fear of losing what you have. You begin to value the things that are truly essential: your principles, your virtues, and the quality of your relationships. This gives you a freedom that money cannot buy. When your happiness does not depend on something external, you become unshakable, because the source of your peace is within you. Principle 8. Accept fate as it is. Epictetus advocated a view called amor fati, which means accepting and loving fate. This does not mean that you should be passive in the face of life, but rather that you should learn to accept the things that are beyond your control. Life will throw you difficult situations, and often you will have no power to change these events. But the key here is, how do you choose to react to them? Many of us struggle with fate, getting caught up in regrets about what could have been or worries about what will be. But for Epictetus, such resistance is futile. Life is as it is, and accepting fate is the wisest way to live at peace with reality. By doing so, you free yourself from anguish and begin to see each situation, even the most challenging ones, as an opportunity for growth. This principle is essential in helping us overcome suffering. Instead of wasting energy regretting what has happened or fearing what is to come, we learn to focus on what we can control, our attitude toward life. When you embrace fate, you find peace and serenity, because you understand that everything is part of a flow greater than yourself. Principle 9. Practice emotional self-control. One of Epictetus' most important teachings is emotional self-control. He believed that we are responsible for our emotions, and that we should not let them control us. In many situations, we react impulsively, letting anger, fear, or sadness take over, and this can lead us to make decisions that we later regret. Self-control is the ability to pause, reflect, and consciously choose how to react to each situation. Epictetus teaches us to be the masters of our emotions, not their slaves. This does not mean suppressing what we feel, but rather learning to manage our emotions in a healthy and productive way. When you master your emotions, you become a more balanced person and able to face life's challenges with serenity. Instead of being carried away by the current of emotions, you remain firm and stable, making rational and balanced decisions. This gives you a sense of power and control over your own life. Principle 10. Face adversity as opportunities. In the Stoic view, adversity is inevitable, but it is also an opportunity. Epictetus encourages us to see each difficulty as an opportunity to practice virtues such as patience, courage, and resilience. Instead of asking yourself, "Why is this happening to me?" ask yourself, "How can I grow from this?" Life constantly tests us, and each challenge is an opportunity to prove our inner strength. This is not about minimizing suffering, but about recognizing that it is part of the process of growth. Every adversity we face shapes us, strengthens us, and prepares us for the challenges ahead. This mindset shift transforms the way you view problems. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, you start to see them as stepping stones that bring you closer to a better version of yourself. The more you practice this perspective, the more resilient you become, and the less power adversity has over you. Principle 11. Cultivate gratitude. Even in times of difficulty, gratitude is a powerful practice, and Epictetus teaches us to cultivate it even in times of difficulty. It may seem counterintuitive, but being grateful for the challenges we face helps us change our perspective on them. When you focus on what you can learn from a difficult situation, rather than just the suffering it causes, you begin to see the value it can bring to your life. Gratitude also helps us maintain a balanced outlook on life. Sometimes we get so focused on what's going wrong that we forget about all the things that are going right. Even in the worst of times, there is something to be grateful for. The opportunity to grow, to learn, to strengthen your spirit. This practice of constant gratitude keeps us connected to the positive side of life, helps us maintain hope, and find strength in moments of weakness. When we are grateful, even in the face of adversity, we strengthen our emotional and mental resilience. Principle 12. Develop the virtue of patience. Patience is one of the central virtues in Stoicism. Epictetus teaches us that not everything will happen in our time or the way we want it, and that it is only fair that we do not have to. This is where patience comes in. We live in a society that values speed, where we are constantly encouraged to want everything yesterday. However, patience teaches us to respect time and the processes of life. Developing patience does not mean resignation or passivity, but rather knowing how to wait calmly, without losing hope or motivation. It means trusting that things will work out in due time, and that, in the meantime, you can use this waiting period to continue working on yourself and what is within your reach. Patience also helps us to deal better with other people. Others do not always act according to our expectations, and this is when patience becomes a valuable tool. By practicing it, you become more understanding and tolerant, which improves your relationships and your own peace of mind. Principle 13. Value the present. The present is all we really have. The past is gone and the future is uncertain. Epictetus teaches us to live fully in the present moment, without getting caught up in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. When you live in the now, you have the opportunity to enjoy life to its fullest. We often miss the present by worrying about what has already happened or what is yet to come. This tendency to live outside of the present robs us of the opportunity to find joy and meaning in the present moment. By focusing on the present, you become more aware of your choices and can better seize the opportunities that arise in each moment. This principle invites us to be more mindful, to value the little things in our daily lives, and to find peace in the here and now. After all, the present is the only moment over which we have control. Principle 14. Work on self-knowledge. Self-knowledge is essential to a life well lived. Epictetus believed that the key to personal growth lies in understanding who we really are, our weaknesses, strengths, and what motivates us. By knowing ourselves better, we can make more conscious choices that are aligned with our true values. Too often, we spend our lives trying to please others or living up to expectations that are not always ours. Self-awareness frees us from these external pressures and helps us build a more authentic and fulfilling life. When you know who you are not influenced by passing opinions or trends. You act based on your essence, and this brings unshakable inner peace. Self-awareness is also the first step towards self-improvement. By identifying our weaknesses, we can work on them and become better, more balanced, and more resilient people. Principle 15. The importance of community and relationships. While Stoicism emphasizes autonomy and inner strength, Epictetus also recognized the importance of human relationships and community. We are social beings, and interactions with others can have a significant impact on our lives. The way we relate to friends, family, and colleagues can affect our peace of mind and emotional well-being. For Epictetus, cultivating good relationships is essential. He encourages us to treat others with respect, empathy, and compassion. This involves understanding that everyone is fighting their own battles, and that by offering support and understanding, we contribute to the collective well-being. Stoicism reminds us that we are not alone, and that our actions have an impact on the world around us. When you engage in healthy, constructive relationships, you create an environment that fosters mutual growth. The support of friends and family can be a valuable source of strength during difficult times, and social interactions can enrich our lives in unexpected ways. True Stoic wisdom involves recognizing the value of community while still maintaining the ability to be independent and resilient. Principle 16. The practice of reflection. Reflection is a core practice in Stoicism. Epictetus believed that by reflecting on our actions and thoughts, we can learn and grow. Life is full of lessons, but we often go through them without truly processing what happened. The practice of reflection helps us integrate these experiences into our personal growth. Set aside time daily or weekly to reflect on your experiences, your emotions, and your interactions. Ask yourself what you have learned from the challenges you have faced, how your responses align with your values, and what you can improve. This self-analysis not only makes us more aware of our actions, but it also gives us the opportunity to make adjustments and refine our approaches to life. Reflection is a powerful path to self-knowledge and self-improvement. By analyzing our experiences and recognizing what works and what doesn't, we can develop a life that is more aligned with our goals and principles. Principle 17. The practice of simplicity. Epictetus and other Stoic philosophers valued simplicity as a principle of life. In a society where consumption and accumulation are often glorified, Simplicity invites us to evaluate what is truly essential. Living simply does not mean giving up pleasure, but rather making conscious choices about what truly brings value to our lives. Practicing simplicity helps us reduce stress and anxiety by freeing ourselves from the pressure to have more and be more. By focusing on what is truly important, such as relationships, health, and personal growth, we can find deeper and more lasting satisfaction. In addition, simplicity allows us to better appreciate the little things in life. When we eliminate excess and distractions, we can experience moments of joy and gratitude that often go unnoticed. The simple life is a life rich in meaning and connection. Principle 18. The practice of detachment. Detachment is a valuable skill in Stoicism. Epictetus teaches us that in order to achieve true inner peace, we must learn to let go of things and people that are beyond our control. This does not mean that we should be callous or indifferent, but rather that we should cultivate a healthy relationship with what we have and with the people in our lives. When we become overly attached to material things or unhealthy relationships, we run the risk of becoming prisoners of these attachments. Detachment allows us to value what we have, but without allowing it to define who we are. We learn to appreciate things and people while they are in our lives, but also accept that they may not be there forever. This practice is liberating. By letting go, we gain the ability to live in the present fully, without fear of loss. Life becomes a series of valuable experiences, each of which can be enjoyed without the pressure of possessing them forever. Principle 19. Commitment to daily practice. Stoic philosophy is not just a theory, but a daily practice. Epictetus emphasized the importance of applying Stoic principles to everyday life. This involves a consistent commitment to self-reflection, self-knowledge, and the practice of virtues. To make Stoic philosophy a part of your life, set aside time each day to meditate on its principles and how you can apply them. This might include reviewing your actions from the previous day, setting intentions for the day ahead, or practicing affirmations that reflect your values. Committing to daily practice helps us build habits that support a more balanced and fulfilling life. Over time, these practices become part of who we are, and Stoic principles naturally manifest themselves in our actions and decisions. Principle 20. The pursuit of wisdom. Wisdom is the ultimate goal of Stoic philosophy. Epictetus believed that true wisdom involves not only knowledge, but also the ability to apply that knowledge to our lives. The pursuit of wisdom encourages us to continually learn and grow in our understanding of the world and ourselves. Wisdom is not an end state, but a journey. Along this journey, we are challenged to question our beliefs, open our minds to new perspectives, and learn from life's experiences. This active pursuit of wisdom helps us live more authentically and meaningfully. In a world that is constantly changing and full of uncertainty, Stoic wisdom provides us with an anchor. It teaches us to remain calm in the midst of the storm, to find clarity in times of confusion, and to seek truth rather than be carried away by emotions or external pressures. These Stoic principles, when incorporated into our lives, can help us face challenges with resilience and find meaning in our journey. By learning from Epictetus and his teachings, we can embark on a path of self-discovery, inner peace, and true happiness. Stoicism is an invitation to live a conscious life, focused on values that truly matter, and that allows us to cultivate an existence rich in meaning and purpose. The journey is yours, and practice is the key to a full and satisfying life. If you enjoyed this content and want to explore more about Stoicism and how to apply it in your life, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. The journey is yours, and practice is the key to a full and satisfying life. See you in the next video.